What's wrong with your Instagram, man?
I've had no issues like this, man.
Well,
Ladies
this
and
that means
gentlemen, we have in the virtual building none other than the one and only
no,
Bishop
man.
Darneal Johnson. All right.
What's going
He,
on, brother
he is
Calvin?
the
Thank you.
pastor of Living Word Ministries. He is the host of Wake Up Radio Show at Wake Up DMV on Instagram. So Bishop, I always go into my origin stories of how I met my particular guest, or how I began my fellowship with my guests for the ones who I've already met. So let me just go ahead and you jump in at any time I'm doing the story as well if I mess up something or get something wrong or tell a lie. So no, but we met in actually in 2013, June of 2013. This is our anniversary month of meeting actually. So June 2013 on WPB radio on Stephen Wise's show. We were debating all types of pop culture issues as it pertains to faith, where they meet, where they clash. And through that experience, the bishop he said, you know what, I'm gonna bring you to my church. And then a couple years later, guess what? I was up at the church, and ever since then, man, we've developed an amazing fellowship that is powerful and that I need in my life. Amen. And he has blessed me, Bishop. You blessed me so much because you've had me on every single media platform that you've had. From did you start on WPB radio, your first show?
No, actually, I was on radio before then, on Spirit and on WBG years ago. But that was when I met you on WPB. So that wasn't my first radio show, though.
Oh no, no. I mean when I was a guest on your show. I'm sorry.
I hadn't started my own show yet. Stefan, who had given
No,
me an
no, no. I know,
invitation.
no, I know that. I'm just trying to, because now I'm
Oh
talking
no,
about
I
how
hadn't
you have
started
been
my own.
on too. Huh?
No, I hadn't started my own show yet on WPB.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. My timeline. I know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, when I was telling the people that you've had me on all your shows, and I was trying to go back to the first one that of your shows that you had me on, and I can't remember. I know it was over there across
It
from
was on
92.
WPD on a Sunday morning when I did the Sunday morning live gospel
Come on.
show on WPB. That's when you first came on my particular show.
Oh yes. So how did you get your start in media?
Man, I've always been on radio for all of my ministry. Actually, God has favored me to get spots on various stations, no matter, even when I went to New Orleans, they had just started a gospel station.
Mm-hmm.
And it so happened that they asked the minister of music at our church at that time to come and do a midday show. And so she invited me on there, and we started there. And when I was at Bread of Life, I was on radio, 2 or 3 radio stations. So God has always favored us. And then, I was on, when I came back from New Orleans, I was on the morning show host for a year for Spirit 1400 AM at that time, where Erica Campbell is now. And so I have always, I can't, to be honest with you, and I have to say it's God's grace,
Mm-hmm.
Brother Calvin, I can never think a time I wasn't on some radio show. And before we get into this, man, I'm a man of protocol. I want to say thank you so much for inviting me on your platform and having
Absolutely.
me on your show tonight. It really means a lot to me. Even at 9:30 at night, you're the
Come on.
only person. And I've been on 3 Zooms today,
Oh wow.
so I was like, I'm hanging with my boy at 9:30. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's try something. Is your phone in landscape or like this? Straight up.
My phone is on landscape. Should I put it
That's
up?
why you were sideways. You should be straight up, just like you were gonna make a call.
All right. Well, usually they say you get a wider picture on. All right. Let me try this. Let me.
There we go.
How,
Do you see how now you're straightening up and you're about to fly right? Amen. Come on. There we go.
praise him. Praise him.
He
I
said he gonna
feel it.
make the crooked places straight. Do you see yourself right side up now?
I feel the anointing.
Ah,
I feel, I feel it in
yeah.
there. And you really had that. And you really had
I
that.
have it. That's one of the only
You got
instruments
that
I play.
tambourine. Why you got that tambourine, man?
I play
Why
the
you got that?
tambourine.
Why you got it on your show?
It's the faith factor. We go to church on this show. I'm telling you, Bishop, you already know, and you know how we go. At any moment, you can have a word for the people. You know, it's necessary.
But I want to say, and it was a privilege, if I can go on,
Yes,
to
yes.
meet you. We met under, um, and I've always been the kind of dude that's been out of the box when it comes to faith and Christianity, and I will never forget. And you have an excellent memory. You have a memory of an elephant, so I don't ever want to do you nothing because you'll never forget, right? Uh, so you're right. That's the circumstances we met, and
Mhm,
I will never forget it. Stefan had a plethora of artists
mhm,
and musicians as yourself, and we were talking about music in the church, right?
mhm.
And I took a different position than yours.
Yep.
You know, I think you had just cut your first CD. You did your first project at that time, was it? You
My
had
first one
a
came out the
single.
year before that. Yep.
Yeah,
2012.
yeah.
Come on, Bishop. Come on.
You had your first single out,
Yes, sir.
and you brought it to the station when they were downtown
Hmm.
on Charles Street, right? And we took a very different position on music.
Hmm.
I won't go into what that position was, but at the end of the day, I said, you know what? And you're right. We want to get you to Living Word because I saw the presence of God. I saw the sincerity of God in your life
Uh,
and the anointing of God. And we've connected since then. And let me just say this. I am so godly proud of where you are and what God is doing in your life. And one of the things that I always admire about you is that you believe in the scripture that you believe that yes, prayer, but
hmm.
you're going to make your way prosperous. You are tenacious. You
Hmm.
are persistent,
Yeah.
and you are determined, and it has opened up so many doors. I remember when you were teaching when I first met you,
Hmm.
and you was like, I believe God has called me into full-time ministry, but
Hmm.
I'm not ready to launch out yet. I said, well, just pray, God will let you know. And then you start just blowing up, doing music, doing fashion, traveling. So I'm just honored to know you, man. And thank you so much for always remaining connected. And even visiting the church when you get the opportunity.
Absolutely. And thank you. Thank you, sir. Um, I was about to ask you what made you start your broadcasting career, but I didn't know that you've never been without a broadcasting situation in your ministry. So let's talk about how you got started in ministry. Can you take us back?
Yeah,
How did you know you were called to preach?
I didn't want to be honest with you. I was going to be the first African American president. Obama got my spot. For
Okay.
real, for real.
Okay.
I I never went to preach. My dad was a preacher. I saw what we can keep it real what pastors go through.
Hmm.
And so I never wanted to do that. I always had the mind of an attorney,
Okay.
of a lawyer. I went to Howard. I majored in political science. I didn't know the Lord started dealing with me, but I didn't want to submit to that because people were like, oh, your dad is a minister, so you need to be a minister. I didn't want to submit to that. So I kept in my career. My granddad, like I said, I'm three generations actually. I didn't want no part of that. I wanted to really be the first. When I say that, I don't say that. This was way before the president was the first. My goal was to go through the ranks and be the first African American president of the United States through
Wow.
New York. So when I was in Howard, the Lord started tugging on my spirit. I did not surrender. I did not. And you know how it is. Like people tell you,
Hmm.
you're going to pastor one day. You're going to preach
Hmm.
one day. You know how they tell you. The
Yeah.
old saints pat you on the head. This one man, you say, I'll give you a quarter if you preach. I took
Yeah.
his quarter, but I didn't have no. Every time he said, he say, if you preach, I'll give you a quarter. And I said, okay, I'll preach. And I had no intention on preaching, but I took his quarter anyway. So to keep this real, the Lord started around my third semester. I had gone to Catonsville Community. The Lord
Okay.
started really dealing with me about ministry. So my dad, every Wednesday, long story short, visited the sick at our church,
Mhm.
prominent church, Wayland Baptist in Baltimore.
I
So
remember
I drove
Waylon.
him. Huh?
I remember Waylon
You remember
back in
Wayland?
the
Yeah, my dad.
back in the day.
Yeah, that's my people there. Or they used to be. A lot of them have transitioned all that. But so
Mhm.
one Wednesday I was driving my dad, and he said, "Oh, I know what happened. I know what happened." So in the Baptist church back then, if you wanted to preach, you had to go before the deacon board, right?
Mhm.
So I told my dad, I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna preach." So he set up a deacon board meeting. So all the deacons were there. I ain't show up. He was ticked, right? I was like, I ain't doing this. So he got mad. He said, when you gonna do what God told you to do? I said, I'm
Mhm.
doing what God told me to do. So then I said, all right. Set up the meeting. He said, if I set it up this time, you better not embarrass me. So I knew God was calling me.
Okay.
Much to my, I had to be real, much to my chagrin.
Mhm.
Went to the meeting.
Now, that's an
Long
SAT
story
word,
short,
Bishop. You can't drop that and move on. But now, what does that word mean?
much to my hesitation, much to my
Bless,
trepidation,
bless you.
um, much to my disdain.
Hmm.
I didn't want to be it, but I knew that nothing else was working, right? So back then, I don't know what they do now in the Baptist church because I've been gone several years.
Hmm.
They scheduled a initial sermon. When I
Hmm.
tell you, and I have an article from the Afro New, I don't even know if the Afro is still around. I think they are. Wayland, you know Wayland, right, Brother Calvin?
Absolutely.
Wayland was packed to my chagrin, to my surprise, rather. It was packed to capacity. When I tell you, and I'm not just saying this to brag, there's an article in Afro. Every preacher in the city at that time, if I don't have time to name them, all of my preacher friends that I grew up with, Bishop Oscar Brown, Thurman J, I could name them all. They were there. And I got into that moment, not because everybody was there. It dawned on me that this is what God has called me to do. But
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't stop there. I pastored a church downtown. Long story short, fast forward. Bread of Life. I bought. We were able to buy New Thomas's old building on Cathedral and Franklin Street.
Okay.
So long story short, I resigned from that work.
Okay.
My intent was to go back to law school,
Mm.
right? I got accepted into pre-law at Anne Arundel Community College through a friend of mine named Dr. Tyrone Powers.
Mm-hmm.
My thing was I wanted to be an advocate for people who could not afford attorneys, but they needed proper representation.
Okay.
Needless to say, that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
I took a position in New Orleans, hit Katrina, ended up coming back here. So my point is, everything I did to always run from ministry and say I don't want it, I ended right back up in it. And I finally had to, and I have to be honest, accept the fact that's what I'm called to do. I only did that a few years ago. If I can be honest, it was just maybe the last 5 or 6 years when I accepted the fact that this is why I came to the planet and I cannot do anything else. Believe it or not, even in
Wow.
successes, I can chop it up real on your show, right? I can keep it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I just, I just accepted the fact since I've been at Living Word. That's how recent that
Wow.
this is what I am called to do, and I can do no other and be in the will of God. So that's kind of my rocky journey through ministry. It's been peaks and valleys. I've tried to quit. I've had opportunities. I was the dean of a Bible college. I was associate pastors first assistant to other pastors across the country, but I've always landed back in pastoral position.
Wow, that is heavy. That
If
is.
I was on my show, I'd say, if you're just joining in, you're listening to Wake Up. I'm your host, Bishop Darneal.
Come
But
on.
since I'm not on Wake Up, since
Wow, this is awesome though to have you here though. I've had a few guests who, like yourself, have been in broadcasting for a while, and I've been on their shows, and now I get to turn the light on you and put you on in the hot seat. But what challenges did you face um in your journey altogether? Any that come to mind that you feel that you want to share?
you serious? I mean,
Absolutely.
the number one thing I had to grow into is accepting and not letting the betrayal of people devastate me.
Mm-hmm.
Now that may sound light, but when you are in ministry, you will be betrayed. And I have to be honest, it used to devastate me because I took people for face value.
Right.
I believed if someone said they were with me, they were with me. I believe if someone said they were for me, because I'm a ride or die kind of person, and we kind of tend to think people are like we are.
Right.
So if I'm down with you, I'm down with you. I don't care what happens. We may not agree all the time. We may have misunderstanding, but if I say, I'm down with you, I'm down with you.
That's
So my
true about
mistake
you.
was thinking that everybody was like me. That if they said they were down with me, they was down with me. The biggest challenge, and it used to devastate, right? When I tell you, like, I ain't fooling with this, devastate, until I got the revelation that all of us that would be like Christ must go through the process that he went through. He went through betrayal,
Yes.
denial. He went through betrayal, he went through denial, and he went through burial, death, burial, and resurrection.
Resurrection.
So that was the main hurdle that I had to go through, bro. To live through the fact that people can just walk out on you when you give them everything, when you love
Yes.
them, when you still love them. And the truth of the matter is, and I know some people be like, but they can walk out the door and you can still love them. And that's what the pain is. That you can't stop. If you really love somebody, you can't stop loving them
That's
when they
right.
stop loving you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I wish we could turn it on and off like that. But if it's genuine, you really just can't do it. And so it's a healing process that you have to get over. And that was the biggest thing. People leaving you, people walking out on you, people that you thought would never leave you, man. And they walk, and you have to really trust God not to get cold and callous. Because all right, let me ask you this. Do you have a line that if you cross it, you can't return? You have a line like that in any place?
I do.
Okay, I'm just asking for a reason because I'm making a point.
I got a
I got a
couple
line. Once I cross it, bro, I ain't never coming back. And I know that about me. Once I really get you out of my, like you say, system, get you out of my system, you air if I see you, and I'm just talking real talk, like this. So what has been the struggle for me, because I know we're called to love unlovely people, is not to cross that line. Because I know if I ever cross that line,
or if they
could
cross
be
that
land, or they cross. Well, no, if they cause me to cross a line, if you understand what I'm saying.
I got you.
If they do me away, and I'm hurt to the point where I cross that line, That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I had to do is, as a leader, guard myself from crossing that line of no return, because I know that we are called to love unlovely people.
Mm. That's powerful. That's powerful. What has been some of the best advice you've been given?
Don't take it personal.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take it, don't take it, don't take things that are done personal. Because this is why I say that. A spotlight is also a heat lamp,
Mm-hmm.
right? So a lot of people want to be in the spotlight.
Mm.
They want the light shining on them, but it's also a heat lamp. So you can't say, I want to shine, and then get traumatized when the heat comes, because
Come
that's the
on.
same light. And that's why in this season in my life and ministry, I don't be bugging for the spotlight. I did a
Mm-hmm.
Periscope on Sunday that talked about the mistakes that we've made as fathers and fathers in ministry. And that, the thing about it is that I know my assignment is behind the scenes, pushing people like you, sharing my platform,
Yes.
making sure that you all are successful,
Mm-hmm.
giving you any resources, any advice that I can give. But I ain't ready for no spotlight, because I understand. If it comes, it comes. But I understand it with wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
that the same light that lets you shine
Mm-hmm.
will burn your behind.
Yes.
So you can't have one bro without the other.
Mm.
So I don't vibe for none of it. I just obey God.
Mm. Simple as that.
So don't take it personal. That's the best advice. In my lowest moment, when people walked out on me and I was on the verge of getting bitter. Let me show you how bitter I was getting. Because you know me, I'm real, right? I don't pretend
Absolutely.
to have all this spirituality. I'm
That's how we
I will
talk.
ne-
That's how we talk.
that's how we talk, right?
And that's how we
I'll
are. Yeah.
never I'll never forget how bitter I was becoming. Let me show you how bitter I was becoming about the hurt that was done, and I thought the injustice at that time. I never forget, I was in Ohio, running at that time a 3-day meeting, and I get up in the morning, and as we all do, go to the mirror to brush our teeth, comb my hair,
Mm-hmm.
and literally, I didn't recognize me. And I know that sounds strange. I'm like, who this cat? And I heard in my spirit somebody that I did not create. And right then I said, I'm not going to allow people to turn me into somebody that I ain't. But it took that aha moment. That is true story. I'll never forget it. I was in the embassy suite. I get up. I'm still trying to recover from all of this crap that happens to me. And I'm carrying this stuff around, you know, I'm like, ugh. And I get up, brush my teeth, comb my hair, and I'm looking like, who that? And I heard somebody that I didn't create. And that was at that point I decided, nobody, what you do to me or feel about me, that's between you and God. How I treat you and feel about you, that's my business. So I don't say stuff don't hurt, Brother
Mm-hmm.
Calvin, but I don't take it personal. I understand that people aim, people don't shoot down, people only aim high.
Come on.
So the higher you fly, the bigger target you are. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I tell people, just know what you're asking for.
Yeah.
When you want God to blow you up and you want all of this attention, that's fine. Just know it has a double-edged sword.
Yes.
If you're just joining in, you're listening to Brother Calvin right here.
I love
I
it.
can't help it.
I
It's
love
in
it.
me.
I love it. See, I'm giving you freedom. It's the no judgment zone. But when I was on your show, you was fussing me out. You said, "Oh, Brother Calvin, this is my show, brother."
We were, bro. You know how we go.
I know, I know.
You know. Plus,
It's all good.
I'm a little older, so I can, check.
That's chastised.
Just a couple of years older. Just.
Right now. See, I always tell people. So I went to a majority of predominantly white college. We would have cultural conversations and things like that. And I would ask them, "Have you ever been to a black church before?" They'd be like, "No, no." I said, "Before you die, you owe it to yourself to go to a black church because it's comedy every Sunday." So I want to transition now into some lighter stuff. What are some of the goofiest things that have happened while you were preaching? And I know you got some. The funniest.
Okay, you want to hear this? You sure you want to hear this? A lady start crawling around like a dog and barking on the floor.
Not coming to America.
No, I'm telling you, bro. She started crawling around
In the middle of your
like a
sermon.
dog, middle of sermon. And I said, you know me, excuse me, what are you doing? She was carrying a burden. I said, well, you're going to have to carry that somewhere else. But that was one of the strangest, goofiest things. I mean, and she really got down on the floor and like crawling on all fours.
Wow.
And everybody started looking. And then I said, what you doing? She's like, oh, I'm so heavy. I'm carrying the burden. I'm saying, you got to carry that somewhere else. I'm preaching.
But barking like a dog, man.
No, she wasn't barking. She was crawling on, all fours.
Okay,
Kind of like.
okay. I thought she was
She was
barking too.
crawling. So the other thing was we were in prayer one time. And
Mm-hmm.
so we had this guy leading prayer. And he would talk real fast. He said, Lord, I want to thank you for the pastor. I want to thank you for food. I want to thank you for healing us. I want to thank you for clothes. I want to thank you for food. He said, and I come against every spirit. I come against every sickness. I come against every disease. I come against every spirit of confusion. Boy, we just broke prayer. We just broke prayer. He said, I come against every spirit. After he couldn't bind nothing else, and he started studying, he said, I come against every spirit of confusion. We just broke.
Because obviously he was confused a little bit.
So we've had some good times, man. And I say this, Brother Calvin, if I can. With all of that I said in the first part of your show,
Mm-hmm.
I had people, man, from wherever I had been to minister, they're still in contact with me. And my confession is I am really loved. I have more people that like people like you who've never been in my church, but they've experienced our ministry, who genuinely love me more than the people. And I don't even begrudge or negatively respond to the people who don't. That's between them and God.
Right.
Father's Day, I got so many texts. I got confused, right? I got so many texts from people. Hey, I got so many texts from people across, and I try not to exaggerate, across the nation, Ohio, where I was for a year, New Orleans, people from here, people from Texas so I'm blessed because there are people that love me and people like you, right? You've never been a member of our church.
Right.
But I know I can call you if I really needed a favor and it's in your power to do it. And you would do it, right?
Absolutely.
You come on my show, so I consider myself, and that's why here's another thing I've learned. Don't overlook the love for the people who are with you, always giving the attention to quote unquote haters. That's not fair. there are more people that are for us than
Yeah.
people that are against us.
Yeah.
So give the people that are for you more attention. Then you get those one or two that may be against you.
They're just louder. That's all. It's louder.
That's all.
Let's take
What
it back.
made you do this show? Can I interrupt? I know you're hosting this.
Absolutely.
What, but you know the host is in me. What? This is great. What made you? What motivated you? You're interviewing me. I'm not interviewing you, but I just wanted to always know what motivated you to do this show. Motivated you? You're interviewing me. I'm not interviewing you, but I just wanted to always know what motivated you to do this show.
Absolutely. So, well, first, my degree is in broadcast production. So, broadcasting has always been and still is a dream of mine. I had launched the Brother Calvin show on YouTube years ago, and that was like the behind the scenes and kind of a docu series of the fashion and entertainment world. And so I've had different co-hosting opportunities on different radio shows, blogs, stuff like that. And so when the quarantine hit, though, I was like, this is different. See, God gives me a lot of projects and visions through major things. Like I don't want to always say tragedies, but like when the Baltimore unrest happened, and after Freddie Gray, I was just speechless, stuck, frozen, and I said, God, how can I help? And God said, use who I made you to be to inspire people. And that's how the True Motivation tour came about. The tour that I was able to bring to your church for Christmas. Thank you very much for supporting that as well. But that came
Yes,
out
sir.
of that. It was an outpouring of encouragement and trying to bring people together and inspiring unity, and also showcasing that it came from someone who was born and birthed in Baltimore. So it's kind of similar. When the shutdown happened, the quarantine happened, I was like, wow, God just put a series in my heart, an Insta Live series, and the faith factor came right up. I was like, wow, I'm going to interview all of the entertainers of faith. So it can be from any type of arts, performing arts, professions, athletes, whoever is open, but it will be faith based. And then it hit me, after I started reaching out and booking people and getting dates together, that not everyone I'm connected to who is amazing even believes in God or has a faith. So then came the sister show, Frame to Frame. And so that's for everybody else who is just amazing at what they do and can offer their story, encouragement, lessons they've learned. And so that's where that's come from. And hopefully this opportunity will branch off into something that's, an actual television show, or maybe I'll book a
Yes.
sponsorship, or, maybe I'll co-host on
Yes.
BET or MTV. So, you never know what these types of things will do. So I'm looking for whatever God has from here.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what the Lord just led me to do, and this is kind of off the cuff, and this is how things come to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one of the things that I know that everything God gives me is not for me. I said that before.
Mm-hmm.
My job in this season is to whatever God has blessed me with, to give voice and platform
Mm-hmm.
to those who have a calling for media but may not have necessarily the access to
Mm-hmm.
get different. So on the fifth Saturdays, okay, every fifth Saturday, I want you to bring, if you have the time,
Mm-hmm.
the faith factor to the Wake Up platform from 10:30 to 11. Okay.
Okay.
No fee. No, it ain't no fee.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that you have something to say. You have influence, and I don't get nothing out of it. I see Love Is. If you see her, that's Minister Kim Reddick. She has a show, Love Is. Dr. Proctor is bringing nonprofit nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
We had Pastor Celeste and Randy Whitley with Victory in Marriage. And so my job, Doc, I know my assignment, and I don't lose nothing. That's the thing. I said this. If I can share this, can I share this real
You can
quickly? I don't
share
want
everything, Bishop.
I don't want to hijack your show, but
No, it's all about you. It's your show.
no, it's your show, sir, and I respect that. I said this on a Zoom today with some pastors
Mhm.
that one of the greatest things we can know is the season that we are in as leaders. And you have to know, and it doesn't speak of old age, it speaks of timing and season.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know when your time is up to actually run the ball down the field and stand on the sideline and be a coach and an inspiration and a Jethro, right? Doesn't have anything to do with fading off the scene, doesn't have anything to do with
Right.
getting old or tired. It has
Right.
everything to do with timing and
Yes.
season. And I have made it clear. I am clear. I'm crystal clear. Two things, only two things I'm doing in this season: pastoring the church,
Mm-hmm.
living word, and making room for people like you who have a platform, who have a message, who have something to say, who's called to that. And it doesn't take anything. Matter of fact, the coach gets the same ring as the player.
Come on, talk about it.
The coach, when the team go to the championship and win, when you win, when Kim Reddick wins, when Brandy and Celeste win, when Gianna Frankie win, when Wesley Proctor wins on their show and their numbers grow and they are successful,
Mm-hmm.
I don't lose nothing. I get a ring
Come on.
as the coach. So here it is. I refuse to fail your generation like we were failed because nobody made room for us.
Mm.
We had to start. You heard the song started from the Drake.
Mm-hmm.
That song should not be true with every generation.
Right.
That song. So I want you the rest of the Saturdays. So what I'm doing, and again, we're paying for nobody's paying me nothing. That is
Mm-hmm.
not the end goal.
Mm-hmm.
I would be disobedient. The end goal is to get this time and to sow it into other people's lives so that I can make a way, leave the door open for other generations to come through.
Yes,
And
sir.
watch this. As a result of that, beginning this Thursday, God is so good. He's giving me favor. I'm doing a Thursday from 11:30 to 12 o'clock called Spiritual Vibrations. It's totally different than my Saturday show. It's going to be affirmations, music, and
Mm-hmm.
meditation for 30 minutes.
Okay.
God is open. See what I mean, bro, when I say I don't lose by blessing people?
Mm-mm. You
And
can't.
that's just the beginning. So I could go on this whole thing because here's my thing. If I really believe that you believe in me and I believe you do and that we have some kind of relationship,
Absolutely.
then as some kind of leader to you or some whatever you consider, whatever, I won't be afraid to share my whatever it is, influence
Mm-hmm.
or platforms. Don't tell me you're my leader and you never share none of your influence with me.
Mm.
All you do is take my tithes. Don't get me started now. All you do is take, but
My.
a real fatherly leader spirit says, such as I have,
Mm-hmm.
I want to share it with the next year. So we'll talk about this, but I wanted to say this public. First, second, third, and fourth are free. I come on at 11 o'clock with my guests every week. But from that 10:30, which we pay for, to 11 o'clock every fifth Saturday, we're starting off every fifth Saturday. beginning the, I don't know when the next fifth Saturday is, but I'm sure you will remind me. I'm sure you will. Everybody looking, I'm sure, Brother Calvin, from 10:30 to 11 o'clock, I want you to come on and I want you to do your thing for 30 minutes. Okay? You down with that?
Let me, I'm definitely down. Let me write this down. 10:30 to 11.
Every fifth Saturday of the month.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay?
I got it down. That's dope. That's dope, Bishop. That's dope. And see, that's what I'm saying. Always sharing and always making sure I'm not staying stuck. I'm not stuck, but you don't know that. And if I was stuck, I wouldn't be because I have you in my life. You know, you always. I remember you always. You would hit me up. Second Sunday, can you come through and bless us with a selection? I'm there. I'm there. Absolutely. Yes. 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 So what's next? You got any upcoming projects?
Yeah. I kind of don't want to leak this until it's over, but I will give you a hint. I'll give you a hint. I'll put it this way, and then once it's in the can, God is increasing our media platform.
Okay.
Okay, something that I've been praying about for Living Word, because even our predecessor, Apostle Living Word, always had television ministry, and
Mm-hmm.
but God has, over the last through this pandemic, caused us to connect with some people through other people that we were on Zoom conferences with,
Okay.
and they've introduced me to some people in media. So I'll definitely tell you, I just want this to be in the can, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't have my thing is next pushing y'all. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sound like like a real humble, but that I don't have really, that's what's next for me. This
Mm-hmm.
media platform and pushing y'all. And anything I can get my hand on to put y'all's influence on. That's what's next for me, man. That's and keeping our church healthy, keeping our
Mm-hmm.
church in the community. We've been in the community. We left the building, but we have not left the community. We went down and did a cleaning project. We're getting ready to do feeding by
Okay.
socially distancing in the community. So, like I said, my only two objectives in this season is being the best pastor I can be at Living Word and pushing people like you.
Absolutely. Let me shout out Living Word. What's going on? That's like my second, third, or fourth church family right there. Shout out
Fifth or
to
sixth, but we take you wherever you fall. Fifth or sixth church, we take you wherever you.
shout out to
We
Daniel Lewis watching, helping brothers out watching. Philip Carey is watching. Thank y'all for showing up and supporting. We are here with the Bishop Darneal Johnson of Living Word Ministries, Cathedral in Baltimore. Also the host of the Wake Up radio show at
Yes, sir.
Wake Up DMV on Instagram. And so
Yes, sir.
I'm done on my questions, my official questions. But again, I want to thank you for being a part of my life. Thank you for
Thank you.
all of the work that you do. I remember when I was in between churches
Yes, sir.
and trying to figure out, where I was going to lock in and serve and be fed. And you were there, and you didn't pressure me. You could have, you could have, but you didn't pressure me like you need to come and join my church. You
Yes, sir.
just supported me, man of God to man of God. And I will never forget that, having someone else to lean on in that time and to, just be able to vent sometimes or just ask random questions to you. and and again, you opening up your church and allowing me to sing a song or two Shout out to the praise and worship team at Living Word.
A song or two. Didn't you do a concert one
Yeah,
year? You did a Christmas.
I'm talking about the
You
years
better
up to this.
get the record straight, brother. You
Yeah.
did.
No. I mean the years up until that, it was ongoing. You would
Oh,
always bring me in.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay,
But of
okay.
course, I
I
already
stand
remember.
to be corrected. I
Come
stand.
now, if you recall 5 minutes ago, Bishop, I thank you for allowing me to bring my Christmas tour to your church. Yes,
No, that's not what I was talking about.
I did
You
another
said
one.
a selection, a
Oh no!
selection
I'm
or
talking,
two.
but yeah, come on, Bishop, you got the flow. You got the flow. No, what have you learned in this quarantine season?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna be practical and spiritual.
Okay,
Really have upped my technology game.
come on.
I have really upped my technology game. That's number
Good.
one.
That's good.
And and number two, I found out how important we are to the community and the church that we are more to each other than a building.
Hmm.
You know, and the community, you don't know the impact that you make on your community.
Hmm.
And so we were down there cleaning a lot a couple of weeks ago, our brothers, and people were just passing saying, when y'all coming back, we miss you.
Hmm.
These are people that have never been in the church door, but just our presence. So I just learned that just how important being in the community, just whether people come to your church or not,
Right.
just being there. But the main thing, Doc, I've been upping my technology game.
That's good.
I have been just taking this time to really up my. That's why I know it was your Insta Live that was the problem. It wasn't nothing I was doing wrong. It
I
was your
rebuke.
Insta Live. What have you got out of all of this, Brother Calvin, if I may
You
ask?
know what's funny? I've been talking about it a lot. I said if we creatives, us creative beings, if we have learned anything else, that's how to be more creative, to step into the creative realm in a way like we never had. There are projects that I'm working on right now. There are concepts that still haven't launched yet. They'll probably launch after the quarantine is over. But it's the perfect time is I've been settled. But I've still been working. I still teach. So we were doing virtual
Okay,
school up until last Monday. So we closed that out, and everything is all good. And so other odd jobs here and there. Uh, and the acting community, film and television. June is the month where we're supposed to be opening back up. So things are slowly
okay,
coming in the email. So castings are slowly popping back up. But they never died either. The castings just went virtual. They were doing Zoom castings and what's the other video? Uh,
Skype,
yes,
Skype.
all of those. All of, oh, we got 28 seconds. Thank you again, Bishop. I love you, sir. And
Love you, man. Thank you so much. And I mean that fifth Saturday, 10:30. I'm gonna start promoting it. Send me a post what the name of your show is and all. So I promote all of our shows. I repost all
mhm.
of our host shows. Okay.
We definitely gonna talk about it. This has been the Faith Factor. This is Bishop Darneal Johnson, Living Word Ministries.